Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Live from the Hombre Cave. I am the Tequila Hombre, and we're here to talk about Anejos today. I did do my latest video release, which came out yesterday, which is on 5 amazing Anejos that I'm drinking right now that everybody should try. Now it's going to be actually 4 because one of them sold out, so it's no longer available. Everybody kind of scooped it all up really quick. So there's that. But the other ones, other 4 Anejos are still readily available. So we're going to talk a little bit about Anejos today. Just some stuff to talk about here before we get into that. Aging projects. I still have my Carrera being aged with a French oak stave that was used to age a Cabernet Sauvignon. So this was soaked in Cab Sauv. This was purple originally when I dropped the stave in, and now it's kind of turned to a neat rusty brown. I'm going to pull the stave out of this probably later tonight. I think it's about ready. It should be good. So that is good. And then I've got some more staves that came in the mail. So we're going to do some more aging projects. Should be fun. Do some more experimentation. This is some more of this experimental wood. Where I get to play with this stuff for a little bit. So it's going to be good. I'm going to make a Tapatio Excelencia for you guys. I'm going to have to do it in a mason jar, because I have the Tapatio 110 bottles that I have, because I'm going to do 110 proof. The Tapatio 110 bottles that I have those bartender pour tops in them, the drip tops. So I've got these, I think it's 2 of them are peach, I think, and 2 of them are the experimental wood. I think that's what he told me. So there's one number 1 peach, one number 3 peach, and then one experimental with a matte finish, and one with no finish, I think, something like that. But both these are number 3 experimentals, I believe. So I have some peach wood to do some experimenting with too, so we'll do that. So, let's check in with our subscribers and see what we get here. Beyond Barrels, hey, just talking about you. Bienvenido, welcome. EBA 101, Anejos, yes. Woo, Tapatio Excelencia, yes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a Tapatio Excelencia using the Beyond Barrel aging staves, and it probably will turn out better because I like the flavor profile that comes from the wood that they have for the Beyond Barrel. So we just say, it says 2 pieces, one number 1, one number 3 of peach. Okay, 2 experimental, super high, and French, one with matte, and the other one with both. Okay, with that. Okay, good. That's what I said. Perfect. Yeah, exactly what I said. Okay, cool. I had it right. Al Martinez, hola, bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it. Today we're talking Anejos. All right, so I did my last video that I released yesterday, which is doing really well, which is good, on Anejos, 5 Anejos that I'm really loving right now. And the 5 Anejos were the Nuevo Uno Añejo Deep, which is fantastic. If you haven't tried this yet, it is amazing. It is just a beautiful Añejo, really rich agave flavor in it, but it also has a nice wood presence, barrel presence with chocolate and caramel and vanilla notes that come through on it. It's just super delicious. Hey, hola, Agave Babidel. Glad you can make it. I haven't seen you in it for a while. I know you popped in, I think, last week. But we haven't seen you for a while, and I don't even know. Are you still on the TBAC. I don't think you're a collective member anymore, so I don't think I've seen you out on the Discord, which is unfortunate. Well, everyone, sipping on some Cerro Grande. Okay, that's the Ocho Añejo. If the single barrel El Tesoro is a summer sipper, then stuff is perfect for taking the nip out of the air on a cold night. Delicious. Oh, nice. I think it's good for a summer sipper too. But the Ocho's sold out. The Ocho's gone. It's no longer available. Hey, Quicksilver's here. Quicksilver. Hola, Quicksilver. Sipping on El Tesoro Añejo Lafroig edition tonight. Very nice. That's what I was drinking last night after I recorded the video and launched it. I was in the garage smoking a cigar, sipping on that El Tesoro Lafroig. It is delicious. It is so good. And you know, people were talking about the smoke. No, I mean, it's there for a second when you first take the first sip, and then for me, it's gone. I don't taste it anymore. And then it's just a beautiful añejo, really well done with lots of agave presence. Easy to drink. I drank just about all that bottle last night that I showed in the video. I have like that much left in the bottom of it right now. So I need to order some more. There's still plenty up on fermenting still, so I need to order some more for my stash. I always normally buy a case of it and keep some bottles aside for my collection for later on. Because I do have bottles too from some of our other barrel buys that we've done. So I need to get some more bottles of that because that stuff's delicious and I just drinks too fast for me. It's like gone before I know it. So that was one of the añejos we talked about yesterday in the video, the El Tesoro Mundial Lafroig aged añejo. We also talked about Luna Nueva, which is very nice añejo, very budget friendly. And then we also talked about El Luchador, which El Luchador, this is fantastic stuff. This one got a 5 agave rating because of how complex and different it is and how beautiful the barrel presence and stuff is. And it pairs very nicely with some stogies. I mean, we're going to start doing some more stogie and tequila videos here too on the Hombre Cave. So, hey, Tequila fam, hope everyone's well. I'm sipping on Cascana's Añejo number 70. I kind of dumped the whole number 7 thing because after doing number 9s and number 10s, I couldn't go down to 40 proof. It's just not nearly as good as the number 9s and number 10s were. And there's other things I'd rather drink. I think so. We carried the number 7 for, I think we still might have some on ferment and still, but we stopped with the number 7s. We're just going number 9s and number 10s because that's better stuff. They kind of ruined it by going say, hey, starting with number 9s, they started with 100 proofs, then they went to 110 proofs, and then they go, oh, well, we're going to do a 40% because then we can get more money for our batches. We can get more bottles out of it. And so, and then they've been now just doing primarily number 7s now, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like it. They haven't sent me anything in a while either. So I haven't done any reviews because they just haven't sent me anything. So we're not ordering any until we get to try it and know what it's like, because each batch is so different with them too. You never know what you're going to get and whether you're going to like it or not. So you love Don Fulano Añejo. Okay, good. And I'm sure Don Fulano loves you for saying that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about añejos. Now, there's this misconception out there that añejos are luxury, and they're not. They're not luxury. Nothing in the tequila world is luxury. There's nothing luxury about tequila. Nothing. The most probably luxurious expression you can take of a tequila is the Blanco. The Blanco is it. The Blanco is the heart and soul. It's the bloodline. It is the godfather of tequila. It is the way it should be, because that tells you whether the tequila was made right, whether it's using good agave, whether there's any issue, anything. You can't hide anything in a Blanco. That's the purest form of it. You're going to know whether a tequila line is good or bad. So the best Blancos make the best repos and añejos. But really, the only reason why you think about it, the only reason why they went to doing añejos and repos is because they wanted to cater more towards bourbon people and create more SKUs, because otherwise it would just be, everybody would just be doing blancos, and that would be all that they had to sell, right? And that was kind of boring. So, you know, they started using barrels. And so now, you know, they can use barrels, but they can use different kinds of barrels. They can use rum barrels. And so they're trying to change it up as much as possible to create different things to keep people excited about tequila. So there's nothing luxurious about añejos. The only reason why they cost more is because they take time, and they lose volume as well from the barrel, from the angel share. But it takes time. It takes a year. So they charge you for having to babysit that tequila for a year, and to watch it and stuff, or for more than a year, because sometimes it can be longer than that. But they charge you to babysit it for at least a year. So, what does it say? When I visit a new Italian restaurant for the first time, I always start out with the spaghetti yeah, exactly. It's the heart and soul of the line. So you taste the Blanco, and the Blanco will tell you, you know, what the production's like on it. It'll tell you the quality of agave that they use. It'll tell you whether they took time and really appreciate it or not. And it tells you what, you know, what the heart and soul of the tequila lines is. Now, with barrels, they're great for hiding flaws. So if you have a tequila that's, say, a little hot for you, you want to cool it down a little bit, you throw it in a bourbon barrel. And why do you throw it in a bourbon barrel? Because in bourbon barrels, they'll rechar it. Typically, the distilleries will rechar it. Recharring it puts a coat of charcoal on the inside of the barrel. When they char it, that's what it creates. It creates a charcoal, oak charcoal. And then what they do is when you put the tequila in, it actually charcoal filters the tequila by moving in and out of the barrel through the charcoal. It literally charcoal filters the barrel, and it mellows out the tequila inside, because that's what charcoal filtering does. That's one of the reasons why bourbon, you know, if you've ever tried white bourbon before it goes into the barrels, it's very hot and really basically undrinkable. But when they put it in the barrel chills it out. The barrel mellows it out by doing, and it's charred, they're charred barrels, by charcoal filtering it and kind of smoothing it out. So it's carbon filtered. Same thing with this. You'll get the wood notes too that cover up some of the flaws, and it basically makes it so it's more palatable, makes it so it's more acceptable, it makes it so it's more, you know, I hate using the word, but smoother. It just basically does, you know, it helps make it better tasting, the bad ones, because you're getting all the wood flavors and stuff instead of dealing with what they delivered you on the Blanco. So, what is this? When I visit a new Italian restaurant, okay, you already said that. Do you drink while you golf? I don't golf that much. I wish I did. I made my own añejo using Turalta, 1 bottle with French oak and 1 bottle with American oak, each aged for a little over 5 weeks. Also, a Siempre Valles high proof cherry oak. I'll get samples out ASAP. And by the way, Trey, you're a little too young to be on this, buddy. I know you're a friend of my daughter's. Trey's a high schooler, so we're gonna put you to sleep, Trey. But thanks for coming and hanging out here. I'll tell Caitlin you said hi. I made my own añejo using Turalta, 1 bottle with French oak and 1 bottle with American oak, each aged for a little over 5 weeks. Also, the Siempre Valles high proof cherry oak. I'll get samples out ASAP. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I know you've been really busy doing the aging project, which is cool. So, Beyond Barrel Aging's just sent me some experimental staves to try out. I have a peach oak and the new French oak. I'm going to start those up next paycheck. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. He said he's going to send some out to some of the people that I've been ordering staves from him the most. So that's cool. That's good. Yeah, so I'm going to do a Tapatio Excelencia with mine, with the 110, Tapatio 110. I just talked about that earlier, I think, before you popped in. So that's going to be my next thing, is just making a Tapatio Excelencia. But I'm going to use the experimental oak, and I have to use a mason jar to do the aging. Oh, so any more 16-year-olds want to come in and say my daughter's friends think I'm cool because I have a YouTube channel, and so sometimes they pop in, they want to say hi because they think it's fun, so I have to keep the 16-year-olds off the channel because this is not a channel meant for 16-year-olds. This is an adult channel. I should put an age restriction on it, but I don't. So that Corrido Añejo is amazing. Yeah, Corrido Añejo is very good. Yeah, there's a lot of really good Añejos out there. All right, so that's one of the reasons why, I wanted to kind of say, because people always associate Añejos and extra Añejos as being more luxurious. They're really not. They're just more expensive. But luxury now, see, I enjoy Añejos and extra Añejos and stuff because I come from the bourbon world, right? So that's one of the things that Añejos and extra Añejos are really good for. It's attracting the bourbon drinkers and and bringing them into the world of tequila. Now, eventually, hopefully, they'll work their way down to trying blancos and really understanding that that's the heart and soul of a tequila. And most of the time when you go talk to like the producers, when you're down in Mexico and you ask them, hey, what's your favorite expression? They go, Blanco. They all drink Blancos. They all prefer Blancos because that is where the art is. That's where you can tell the artistry is in the Blanco. You can't hide anything. You have to be doing things right. Otherwise everyone's going to know you didn't. So that's the kind of thing about that. Yeah, exactly, kids. They're teenagers. Are you using French or American White Oak for the? I'm using American White Oak for the Excelencia. So it won't be the experimental oak, but because that's French. It'll be American oak because those are in American oak barrels. So I've got some American oak staves that I will use for that one. It's done. It's aged in new American oak. Fresh American oak barrels is what I meant to say, not French, fresh. So I will be using American oak on that. The French oak will be used for something else, but I need to figure out what I want to do. Now, I am doing a Cab Franc right now where I have staves soaking in that to age it, to, get the wood characteristics into the Cab Franc because, a hearty red needs wood like that really to kind of round it out. So what I was thinking of doing is I'm going to use probably one of them to do my own aging project. But if you guys want, if anybody wants one of those staves to age something with, maybe I'll put them in a Ziploc bag with a little bit of the wine in it and send them out to people. So I think what I'm going to do is if you're in the collective, on the aging channel on the collective, comment that you may want one of those, and maybe I'll select somebody from the collective that's on the Discord that's in the that post in the aging channel one of those staves to use to create their own aging project. So that'd be great. Until being educated, I always thought Blancos were just for mix. Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people think that, Blancos are just for margaritas, right? It's just like the lower end stuff. It's like, no, the Blancos are where it's at. The Blancos are the art. That's where the art is. But people think because there's a higher price tag on Añejos and extra Añejos, that, they're more luxurious and better. That's not necessarily the case. Now, I used to do some work for G4, so I don't know if I've told you guys this before. G4 used to hire me to go and do education and pourings for G4 because I know the brand really well. And so I did a couple of events here in Southern California for them where I got to pour G4 and I got to educate people on it and talk about tequila in general and educate people at tequila festivals, at tequila and margarita festivals. And so one of the things that was really weird, and I had to play this game with people, was that they would come up to the table and I would say, okay, would you like to try some G4? It's a great, natural tequila, no additives, beautifully made by, Master Tequilero Felipe Camarena. And they're like, yeah, sure. I said, okay, which one would you like to try? Do you have an extra añejo? They always went for the extra añejo. And so I'm like, I only had a certain amount of bottles of extra añejo. And yeah, it's the most expensive bottle we had. But I'm like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this. And it was funny because, what's his name? Alfredo Gama was at a table next to me. He's a legend. He was a legend in the tequila world here in Southern California. The guy knew tequila really well. He worked for Wine Warehouse, which is a distributor here. Really nice guy, super nice. He was the one that put this whole festival together, and he was the rep for Wine Warehouse for this area that we were in. And so I got to talking with him, and so he actually was watching what I was doing, and he started saying, "I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that myself because that's a really kind of a good idea." Unfortunately, my friend Alfredo, he got COVID from his son, and it killed him. So we lost him during COVID. He was a good friend of mine. I always could use him as a resource. He helped me with questions, and anytime I needed to find something, for a special edition or get some stuff for Ferment and Still, he always helped me out. So may he rest in peace, and may his memory be a blessing for anybody out here that's watching that may have known Alfredo. He's great. He was amazing. So, but Mr. Gamma, he told me, he goes, I'm doing the same thing. Sorry, every time I think about him, it hurts me a little bit. So I apologize. So what I started to do is I used to tell people, look, in order for you to be able to get a taste of the extra añejo, you're going to have to take a tour of the rest of the line, starting with the Blanco, the Repo, the Añejo, and then we'll work our way to the extra añejo once we get to there. And so then they're like, oh, okay, all right, fine. So then I'd start talking about tequila production stuff, and I make them taste the Blanco first. This is the heart and soul of the line. This is this is where all the artistry is, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and you just kind of give them the whole background. And they would taste that, and they go, wow, I didn't know this about Blanco. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. This is the heart and soul. This is the bloodline. This is where the truth is in the line. This is where you can tell whether you have a good tequila or not. If you enjoy this, you're going to enjoy the rest of it. If you don't enjoy this, the rest of it's going to be crap for you. Like, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, great. So then we went to the Repo, and this is rested for 2 to 11 months. No more than 11 months. In a barrel, and blah blah blah, and explain all that stuff, and then talk about it, blah blah blah, blah, and they taste it, and they go, okay, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, you're right, I can taste the barrel and stuff. And then we went to Añejo, and it would be a process. But what ended up happening is I would have like a line of people in front of my table, and like 3 or 4 people deep wanting to do this tour. So they were coming by, people like, are you the one that's doing the tequila tour? I'm like, yeah, I want to take it. And so, okay, the next one's starting here in just a minute. As soon as I finish up with this one, I'm like, okay, great. And literally I was talking to people like the whole entire night, and trying to enjoy the festival myself. But my table was so swamped, that even the ushers had to come by and tell us to clear people out because they were blocking the walkway. So that was really cool. So Alfredo started doing it too at his table next to me. He had Arete and some other ones at his table, and we just had the whole place flooded around us of people trying all these different tequilas and learning, and it was great. The people were like, you by far were the best table. We learned the most from you, and definitely this G4 is something that we're gonna get. We're gonna go to the store here and pick it up, and so we had to make sure that Alfredo got it into the local stores and that it was available for them to buy. So that was a lot of fun. I did a couple of those tequila festivals, and they were a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed on the education part, talking to people and making them try the Blanco and stuff before they got a chance to just, drink the añejo or extra añejo. So it was funny because what they do is you give them in the beginning, I give them a little cup of the extra añejo and they go, smooth. That's smooth. And then they would walk away from the table and I was like, that's all you got for me? Smooth? That's smooth? And then you walk away from me? You disrespect me about that? Smooth. It's like,
yeah, that's smooth. Thanks. Bye.
Like, what? Smooth? That's all you got? The more experienced people, it was like,
oh yeah, baby. That's delicious. I love the way I get that cinnamon and that beautiful goodness dripping down the back of my throat. It doesn't burn at all when it goes down. That is some good ass tequila, man. Oh yeah. That makes me want to sing. Oh yeah, baby.
So there's that. So that's the kind of thing I liked hearing when I was pouring the tequila at the festival. Not, that was smooth. Thanks. Turn around, walk away. So those are good times. So I educate people on that. Blancos are good. Blancos aren't the things everyone should try. And they're readily available. They're not as expensive, and they can make more very quickly. But yeah, if you have a tequila that you don't like drinking by itself, or even if you do like drinking by itself and you want to, turn it into añejo and stuff, I honestly, I've gotten to the point now where I'll drink, they send me stuff like the El Luchador is a great añejo. It's different. The Lafroig barrel aged is different. But honestly, a lot of the añejos out there, I'd rather just age it myself using the Beyond Barrel aging staves and create my own flavor profile with tequilas and stuff, and then just drink it that way. Because I find that a lot of times the flavor profile is better from the Beyond Barrel aging staves than what you get from the distilleries, because they're just using barrels they get from the barrels brokers that are down there in Mexico that pull the barrels from the distilleries. It's not necessarily good quality barrels or good quality oak after it's been used for 20 to 50 years by the distilleries. And if you want a good bourbon kind of flavor, go with the new stuff and go with the Beyond Barrel, because it's just a better quality. So a lot of the stuff I have now, I'm drinking is aged stuff, but I can't be sitting here going, well, I'm aging my own stuff, so that's the top Blancos or the top añejos now, and people want to know what are good añejos to buy. So the five that I gave you on that video, those are all what I'm basically been drinking recently and really loving, and so that's why I put them on the video. And sure, all of them are fermenting still too, and people are like, oh, you're just selling the stuff because you get a commission on it. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I don't get a commission on it, and I'm only the only reason why Ferment Still has it is because I told them to get it. I told them to pick it up. I told them to buy it because I liked it. It was good. So people just need to get off that whole thing, and they pick on me about that, but all the other guys out there, Grover, Lou, all those other guys, they have their commission things, their associate links and stuff with stores too. So they're making money. So I had to create my own store with partners, and we're not necessarily making money on it. So it's not really put together to make money, but more to get access for some of these amazing spirits that are out there that people normally couldn't find. And it's to help these little guys, these little brands that are like, we just coming in, we just got it imported into the country, and we don't have it in any stores yet, but we're working on it. It's like, well, if it's good, if they send me a bottle and I like it, we take it in and we start getting it in people's hands and getting people talking about it. So we do this a lot, mostly to help some of these younger brands, these new brands. I just got a really nice note from Santa Leza saying thank you for all the love and stuff, for helping us out greatly. And that's what it's all about. If it's good quality, we want to help you. We want to help you get the word out. We want to have people drinking your tequila and loving it as much as we did when you sent us samples. But, honestly, too, if you send us a sample and we don't like it, we're not going to buy it. And we're not going to tell people to buy it. So you run that thin line of us not liking it. So... so there you go. What is this? I've had some incredible unoaked reds from top producers. They don't release it though. Wine, yeah. Well, that's how we do it at work. We recommend they start with Blanco and they work their way to the Anejos. I've got a lot of people to try and buy quality tequilas the past few. Oh, nice. That's awesome. With Peralta, I like my French oak aged more than my Peralta Añejo. I'm excited to try out the peach oak and new French oak. Yeah, I've used the peach before. I'll try it again, but I didn't. It takes forever for peach to impart any flavor in it. So I'll see the number 3 is different. But I put it in some Costco Kirkland tequila before I let it set for a while. It really didn't do much. So we'll see what happens this time when I play with the peach. SJS is Carrera still strength more agave? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I have the PM Spirit still strength. It's okay. It's good. Carrera blows it out of the water. The Carrera still strength blows it out of the water. It's one of the best still strength Blancos that I've ever had, including people are like, well, what about Criollo, Calle 23 Criollo, and I'm like, yeah, it's I like it more than that. Calle 23 Criollo had a lot of fermentation elements in it that made it really complex and different. But this one's more pure cooked agave. So I actually like it more than the Calle 23 Criollo. And I will include the Calle 23 Criollo on the blind tasting because still have bottles of it. You can see it right here. See, that's the Calle 23 Criollo. I still have bottles of it right here. I will put it up against it in a blind tasting and see what happens. But I'm just going off my memory, I like the Carrera 54% better than the Calle 23 Criollo. But yes, SJC, SJ, IOS, yeah, the Carrera still strength is definitely more agave forward than the PM Spirit still strength. Absolutely. It's a better quality, high proof Blanco. Absolutely. So, so we're talking Anejos though, right? So yeah, I find that I typically enjoy the stuff that I age more than I do the stuff that comes from the producers in Mexico. I do. Because I can adjust the flavors. It's more pure flavors. There's not as much bitter oak flavors in it. So I enjoy doing that. So a little off topic. Do you know anything about Gran Mayan Añejo? It's in a porcelain bottle. It says aged for 5 years. I can't find anywhere that tells me how it's aged. Yeah, it's I'm not sure how it's aged, but it's diffused. It's made at St. Lucia distillery. They have a big shiny diffuser there. So it's changed distilleries so many different times. The Gran Mayan extra aged. It is It's not good. Yeah, it's gone downhill. It used to be really good. I think when it was with, it used to be with 1146, and when they had it, it was good. But now it's not as good. So I don't recommend it. You're welcome, SJCS SCJ iOS. You're welcome. Plus, since it's not charred, it doesn't suck up some of what the agave flavor. Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have the charcoal flavor, the charcoal filtering on it as well, since it's not charred. It won't mellow it out. It still will mellow it out just because it goes in and out of the wood and stuff, but it's still it doesn't charcoal filter it like charred wood. So there's some producers out there that if I'm going to deal with a tequila that is going to be añejo from a producer, I would rather go along the routes of just a barely wood presence from it. So like the way Ocho does it, or the way El Tesoro does it, where they use distressed barrels, so it doesn't impart too much of the wood flavor, since the wood that they typically are using isn't the highest quality wood. So you're not getting a lot of the bitter oak notes and stuff that come in on it. Instead, you get a little bit of the oakiness, but you get more of the bourbon essence from it. But then there's still a ton of agave up front, and that's the way I like a lot of the añejos to be typically. The El Luchador is kind of different in the fact that it's a wine barrel, and I love the difference that the white Burgundy barrel does, and the fact that it, since it's a wine is aged in it, there's still a lot of stuff left in the wood, because wine is only 12 to 15% alcohol by volume, so it doesn't draw as much out as a higher proof liquor would. So you get a lot more out of it, and a lot more of the interesting notes and stuff that come through. So this is kind of like an exception for it. The Añejo Deep is also kind of like an exception in that it, draws some really nice barrel notes out. I don't know what barrels they use for this one, but it's delicious. But like, Viva Mexico Añejo is really good because it doesn't have a lot of the barrel essence, but instead still has a lot of the strong agave notes. So, and that's what I typically look for from the producers for stuff that I personally want to buy and drink. And so you'll see like a lot of Ocho and El Tesoro and stuff. And I always talk about them a lot too. Now, 123 Organic does do new barrels for theirs, and I do like their toasted barrels and stuff. I think that David Ravandi does it right. He uses a better quality wood where you're not getting the bitter oak flavors in it. There's exceptions to some of the stuff. Those are really good. So if you haven't tried the 123 Organic line, I highly recommend it, including the Diablito and the Diablito Rojo. All of them are excellent. Everything I've had from David Ravandi has been excellent, so I recommend those. So that's it. I mean, this video that I did was more just about stuff that I'm drinking now that I really like, that people don't hear a lot about. Everyone hears all the time about El Tesoro. They hear about Elcha. They hear about Fortaleza. They hear about G4. They hear about all the the stuff that everyone's always talking about, because these are the people too that are paying people to talk about them. So you're seeing more videos on social media and stuff about them. But the Batch Nueva Uno, you don't hear people talking about that. El Luchador, I'm the only one that really talks about that. Luna Nueva, you've never heard anybody talk about that besides probably me. And the El Tesoro Lafroig, of course, other people have done the barrels, but our barrel selection was amazing. And Ocho, everyone talks about that too, but the barrel that we had was exceptional. It ferments still. It's unfortunately sold out. It's gone, so it's not available anymore. But those are all good. And some of these are great alternatives for those people that like the flavor profile of something like Clase Azul. Some of these would be a good alternative because they have that same kind of flavor profile, but not as sweet. But there's still a little sweetness in it, but it's just as like smooth where it's not going to burn when it goes down your mouth, into your mouth. And so, and it has the beautiful caramel and chocolate notes and stuff that people seem to like when they purchase something like Clase Azul or Casamigos or any of those other readily available ones. So these would be good alternatives for those as well. And Luchador is fairly affordable. So you could actually buy like 3 or 4 bottles of Luchador Añejo for what you pay for Clase Azul. So it's more affordable. Yeah, you can actually get drunk more times than you can off the Clase Azul with the pretty bottle. So what is that? People overlook Terralta, awesome Blanco, and other expressions. Yeah, absolutely. Terralta's great. It's very Terralta, because it uses the deep well water that's got some super mineral rich. It's got a bite to it, and it's very complex. And that's what I like about Terralta is that when you bite into Terralta, it bites you back. There's nothing smooth about that at all. But it says, "Hey, I'm tequila. I grew up in the desert, and you're gonna like me." And it's got wonderful flavors and stuff to it. It's gonna have a bite. You're gonna feel it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It actually, for me, I think enhances the flavor profile. It makes the flavors come out a little more, especially the 110. Whew, I love the 110. The 110 Blanco is like so good. And the Repo is like super, super complex because of the minerality and stuff. You're still getting a lot of the presence, but you're still getting a lot of that beautiful mineral rich flavors from cooked agave and stuff. It really draws a lot more flavors out of the agave because of the minerals in the water and stuff. It's really good. Yeah, I definitely am a big fan of Terralta. It's one of my favorite lines out of El Pendillo. The G4 and Terralta are my 2 favorite lines out of there. Was that Lalo Blanco has helped me open customers' mind to Blanco other than Clase Azul. It's sweet, but still holds the agave. Yeah, I don't find it to be sweet, but I think it's just agave. It's simple. That's one of the things that's nice about Lalo is it's very just agave. It's just simple. It's good. Very easy to drink. Super drinkable. I mean, you literally on a Lalo bottle, you pop the top and you start drinking it. Next thing you know, half the bottle's gone. You're like, what the heck? Where did it go? It drinks so easy. That's one of the things I've always liked about Blanco. I actually have a 55% Blanco that Lalo gave me for my birthday because I really kind of helped get exposure for that brand and kind of blow it up. So as a birthday present for me, he's a good friend of mine. He sent me a bottle of the 55, the first and only bottle of 55% off of the new still, in the new distillery. So I haven't cracked that yet, but I may have to do a video where I pop that and drink it and talk about it. Because he did promise me on the live stream that I did with him that he would do an exclusive batch of the 55% for the collective. So I'm still going to hold him to that. But he just said he wanted to wait until after he gets his distribution across the U.S. all set up. So I'm looking forward to that. And maybe I'll do a video where I'll pop that bottle and taste it and stuff, and maybe send some samples out to people here on the channel or people on the Discord or whatever. I did a tasting with Terralta Reposado and Añejo today. They opened the Cascanas Añejo. Okay, then open. All right, cool. Yeah, I think the Terralta Repo is probably one of the best repos on the market. It's amazing. It's so complex and different. It's really good. All right, so I think that pretty much sums up what I wanted to talk about today. Anything else? Any other questions you guys have? We'll open it up for other questions if you want to talk about some other things. For those of you in the collective, the Carrera 54, I posted on the Discord today, the 54% Carrera is due to hit the warehouse at Ferment and Still tomorrow. So that will start shipping on all of you that placed the pre-order. For those of you that want to get in on the buy, it's easy. Just join the collective. I think the link is in the description below. It's $10 a month. You'll get access to all these amazing tequilas and stuff, these special buys that I'm doing, as well as get to be part of this amazing community of people that enjoy tequilas. A lot of the members here are members of the collective, because you get the community part. It doesn't necessarily have to be just to buy and get into the buys, but the community is really good. A bunch of different channels of different topics in there where you can get information about all different kinds of things. You can post things and people will answer and share their thoughts. And it's a big, huge, really awesome community. I think we're about 80 something people strong right now. And it's great. So it's $10 a month to be part of the community, which helps me pay for all the stuff that I'm putting together for everybody. So it helps me cover some of my bills, especially for the buys, if you're able to get in on the buys. But if you're not able to get in on the buys, you can still be part of the community, and it's still a lot of fun. And we have a great group of people. A lot of the guys that comment and come here, like Frankish and Quicksilver and EBA 101 and stuff, they're all members there. So they're all part of the TBAC Discord group. So it's a lot of fun. You are the reason my cousin and I were trying to get it in, along with what we have on the shelf. We both thank you. Okay, great. I'm glad I helped you with stocking your store shelves, and you're finding good tequila for people. That's what this channel is all about. It's about education and educating people and sharing, spreading the word on what amazing tequila is all about. So really look forward to the Yayo. Yeah, the Yayo repo's coming in June. That's single barrel repo. Ours is great. I know people are always like, well, you just say that because you're still, no, really, if you watched the live stream where I have John Bollinger on, ours is really good. I had two, one of them was like, no, this is not good. It was really harsh and stuff. So unfortunately, somebody's going to get that barrel. Ours is exceptional. It had really nice, interesting tropical fruit notes because it's a Colombian rum barrels. It had like banana notes and then like chocolate notes. So it was like, I was like, oh my God, this is really good. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to drink so easy, and it's so good that you guys are just going to get crazy drunk off this stuff. It's that good. So it's delicious. You guys are going to love it. So that's going to be coming in June. That's exclusive for the collective as well, at least for the first. And then if everybody doesn't buy it all up, it will hopefully it'll be released on Ferment and Still eventually, assuming that everybody in the collective doesn't buy it. If everybody in the collective buys it all, then it will not be available on Ferment and Still at all. So you won't be able to get it. So right now the group is growing. So I have no doubt that we'll probably sell out the Yayo. So that probably won't make it to Ferment and Still. We do have the Lafroig. It's just been opened up on Ferment and Still, the El Tesoro Lafroig. So if you haven't gotten that yet, you can pick that up without being a member of the collective. And then the Carrera 54 will probably eventually make it to Ferment and Still, but it'll be with the collective for a while in the beginning. So exclusive for the collective before they open it up on Ferment and Still. We have a lot of it coming in. We bought the entire batch. So, but I suspect that once the people in the collective buy it, they're going to stock up on it, because we don't know what the next batches are going to be like. We know this batch is exceptional. So I would recommend stocking up on this batch, because the next batch that comes in, it's going to be a completely different batch. So we don't know, to duplicate the same exact flavor profile and stuff is impossible. So we don't know what it's going to be like. Excuse me. You need to get these buys spread out a little bit. Yeah, I know. My wife just shakes her head because it seems like there's boxes showing up every other day. Well, what happened is, originally when we were setting these things up, they were supposed to be like spread out, but then everything ended up hitting at the same time, and it's like, oh wow. Unfortunately, that's the way it worked out, because the Carrera was supposed to be here in December. I mean, it was supposed to be here December of last year, and now here we are, June, and it's just now getting here. You know, May, late May. It's just now getting here. It was supposed to be here in December. So that's how things work in Mexico. You never know when stuff's going to happen because it happens on Mexican time. So it happens when it happens. We were supposed to have a special Blanco from 1414, and we arranged that 2 years ago, and it's still not here yet. And I keep having to buzz them saying, "Hey guys, you ever going to bottle that Blanco?" They're like, "Yeah, it's still here." I'm like, how about we bottle it and get it out here so we can get into our group? And they're like, "Oh," so it's still sitting in a tank at 1414. But eventually that'll make its way here. We're not in a hurry right now with it. I'm like, just hold it, and we'll maybe do that in November after everyone's kind of recuperated from. But yeah, we've got the Yayo coming in June. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. I don't know, El Tesoro. I think we have that El Tesoro Special Reserve. I think it's going to be probably here August. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe September. So it'll be a while before the next thing after the Yayo. So, but we'll have these to tie us over for a while, and they're all great, exceptional tequilas. So. And thank you for all you guys that are members of the collective to help support these projects and stuff. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for all of you, too, that are members on the YouTube channel, that are supporting the YouTube channel. The membership's back up and unpaused on that. So thanks for sticking it out, those of you that did. I'm going to do another credit video on the next video that I do. Make sure I credit you guys. So you'll see your name up on the credits of the next video. And then I'm gonna do another live stream on the new channel and stuff, try to bring more people over here. So I'll look for that to happen here sometime soon. I'll probably do a Q&A with the Hombre again, because on there with the Q&A with the Hombres, we got probably 30 or 40 people on at a time. And so we want to draw more people from that channel over here for the more of the podcast type of format that we do here, and keep that more just reviews and informational videos. So we're going to do some really cool things here. We're going to do some blind tastings, Blanco challenges and Yayo challenges, Repo challenges, stuff like that. And then I'm going to do some giveaways where just being a subscriber here, you can get sample bottles of things to try. This is going to be the channel to be a part of. And then we're doing wine things too. I have the Cab Franc that's in the thing that I need to post a video of how I'm making that, because wine and tequila are very similar in their production methods. Extremely similar. It was scary how similar they are. So if you ever want to get an idea how tequila is made, make a wine kit. And you'll get an idea, and you'll be like, "Oh wow, this makes total sense." And then once you perfect it, once you get good wine going, you really keep an eye on fermentation, then you'll have a good idea of what the master distillers and stuff do when they're doing their fermentation and stuff before they get to this distillation area. We're not going to get into distillation with the wines, because then we're making brandy, but then home distillation in the United States is illegal. But if you're in another country that allows it, you could do it. I mean, so there's that. And then we're going to do aging projects here with Beyond Barrel stuff. And we're going to have just a lot of fun. This is going to be the fun channel, where the Tequila Hombre channel is going to be more about the learning channel. This is going to be more of like the activities and on hands learning stuff, as well as we have some interviews that are going to happen. We're going to bring some brand owners in to talk about their journeys, some master distillers to come in, and we're going to have some good interviews and stuff here on this channel as well. So if you're not a member and you're visiting or whatever, make sure you are not a subscriber. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notified every time we come live with a live stream here. This is going to be the live stream central here. So, but thank you for all of you that are members. And any other questions and stuff before we call it a night tonight? Anything else anybody wants to talk about real quick? Nope. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you. And for those of you that are members of the Discord and the Tequila Hombre YouTube channel, thank you for your support. I appreciate you as well. Have a fantastic evening. I'll see you guys on Thursday for another live stream here. And until then, make sure you drink all the good tequilas. Salud. Bye.